Well, you've done quite a bit of writing since, and this
Yeah.
might be a difficult question to ask you, but is there anything you've written and that's been printed that you wish you could go back and change?
And tweak? You know what? No, because I think it's an evolutionary process. I think that's the writer I was then,
Uh-huh.
and this is the writer I am now. So I think it would almost be unfair to me then to go back and say, "You idiot, that stinks. This is how you should do it now." Yeah, it was a learning process,
Right.
from the very beginning. I mean, even to this day, I still get emails about the Angel book about how people liked it, how much they enjoyed it and stuff. So
Great.
I must have done something right.
I'd say you did, yeah.
Yeah. And I enjoyed writing the Angel book. I really, I mean, it was tough because the one thing about the Joss Whedon universe is everybody has such a specific voice, and you just got to you either got it or you don't got it. You know, and you read those characters. Does this sound like? Can you hear their voice doing that dialogue?
That's the one thing from all the authors I've interviewed. They all say they're happiest when they know they got the voices of the characters.
Yeah, yeah. Because honest to God, I think it's almost impossible to write until you have the voice, because it's just not them, and they're such specific characters. Like, Doyle was such a specific character, and Wesley was such a specific character. They have some distinct sounds to to the way they speak and how they say things.
Yes.
Until you have that, I don't think you have much of a book. You just have characters that could be this character.
Yeah. Did you ever get a chance to visit the set? I know that Chris got to go on the Buffy set.
No, he went a couple of times, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he went for the Watcher's Guide was the big time.
And I think maybe when they did the very first novel, he and Nancy Holder, I'm trying to think if they let them visit the set.
They
then,
may
too.
have. Yeah, I don't remember. He may have gone more than once.
Have you ever heard from any of the actors? You know if they've ever read the books?
I don't think so. I think the only actor I'm even familiar is Amber. Amber knows me pretty well through Chris and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the only one of the cast members that I met. Tony Head in passing once, but that was about it.
Well, did Amber have an opinion on how you wrote Tara?
I don't know if she ever read it. I don't know if she ever read it, to tell you the absolute
How
truth.
dare her?
I know. I mean, I may have to ask her about that. I'm going to put you on the spot here, Vincent.
Well, that's a good place to segue into Monster Island, which
Yeah.
is personally one of my favorite of either
Thank
Buffy
you.
or Angel books.
Oh, thank you.
It's got a sweep that would fill a motion picture.
It's like the Lawrence of Arabia of Buffy stories.
It's incredible all that's included in there, and it's the Dream Team mashup of all these characters.
Yep.
And so many you actually have to leave a few back. Ani has to stay back in Sunnydale.
Yeah. There's only so much room. You know
Right.
what I mean?
And I know you originally planned it as a comic book, correct? I think Chris mentioned that.
It might have been because it was out. That was at the time that we were throwing so many ideas around for the Dark Horse stuff that it might have originally started out. Now that you mention it, it might have started out as a comic book.
And the great thing about a book or a comic is no special effects budget.
Oh, exactly.
I mean, the things you include in there probably couldn't be done without, really expensive CGI.
Really expensive, huge budget.
And I hope that someday, if she hasn't already, that Amber does read the book, because I think the way the two of you handled Tara and Willow in that one is, well, you look at some of the Buffy books that have been written, and if they're the young adult books, they really have to dance around the characters.
Yes, yeah.
And some of the other books are more for adults. Very few are really set during the era where Tara was involved.
Right.
So what use there is of her in the books tends to sort of be just like she's just standing there. And sometimes she'll have a line here and there. And the two of you integrated her as a major character in the book and made her a serious badass.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. Well, she was such a great character. Why leave her on the sidelines?
Yeah.
That was,
Even the TV show seemed to forget sometimes that she was an incredibly powerful witch.
Yes.
She tended just to be moral support for Willow.
Right. Right. Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. We're not gonna leave that on the sidelines. When you have a potential to do something cool, that's one thing with working with Chris. Everything was all very much planned out. All right, this is what we're doing, and bang, 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 bang.
Well, what's the collaboration process? Do you write a chapter and pass it along? He tweaks it.
Yeah. Usually, what we would do is we would usually plot out the whole thing together, just kind of batting ideas around, and then one of us would sit down and do like a breakdown of chapter and scenes. So it would be like chapter 1, scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, chapter 2, scene 1, scene 2. Very specific. Any little details that we think are important to whoever ends up writing those chapters. And when that's done, that's our Bible for writing the book, and we just start off. All right, what are you doing? I'm doing prologue in chapter 1. All right, see you in a couple weeks. And when whoever was done would email it over, and we would read it through to kind of know where the next person is starting off. And the one cool thing about Chris is that we always try to top each other. So he would always.
I was going to ask, did you like to leave your chapters in a way he'd be like, top that?
Yeah, all the time. And it would always be something a little bit different than what we talked about in the outline. So you'd read it and you go, oh crap, okay, I'm going to get him. And you sit down and you try, how do I do that to him for his next thing? But that was a lot of fun working on that book in particular, because it was so big.
Yeah.
Such an epic-sized story. So many characters, so many voices. And back to the voices thing. Oh,
yeah.
Lord.
I have to say, I'm truly amazed that you let everyone keep their voice, and it didn't. It's difficult to explain. All I can say is I read it, and I felt like I was listening to multiple authors from different viewpoints, because it's as if the characters were helping to write it. If that makes sense at all.
That's a real compliment. Yeah.
I'm sure you've read books. I've read books where it all kind of sounds like the same voice in every character. Yes. They might have a code word they like to use,
right,
but it's still basically the same voice, and that was not the case with this at all.
Right. So. And I think with the Joss's characters, you're so inclined to be almost overly cautious about getting it right, because again, it doesn't work if they don't sound like, it's not the same thing. It doesn't feel the same.
Yeah.
It's not Buffy. It's not Angel when it doesn't sound like those characters.
Well, if Fox or Dark Horse ever do what DC did with New Frontier, I would love to see Monster Island made into an animated.
Oh, wouldn't that be
DVD.
something?
That would be just.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Because again, without the budget, the huge special effects budget. Yeah.